My name is Karimi Sunday. I'm from Kogi State. I represent Yagba West, Yagba East, Mapamoro Federal Constituency. My colleagues, I come under matter of urgent public importance. Order 8, Rule 4. And the issue I'm bringing to this house this morning has to do with the fact that last week, the special advisor to the governor of Kogi State on security, while trying to clear some military wares at the airport, they asked him to produce end-user certificate. Instead of custom holding him, because you have to get an end-user certificate before you can bring in such items. So this is the issue I want us to discuss this morning. And I want us to at least give me the right to discuss, to bring the motion now because it's very urgent, so that other rules will be set aside for me so that we can take this motion today. Thank you. Firearms and military equipment into the country by politicians and private citizens. The House notes that by virtue of Section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, the security and welfare of the citizens is the central objective of government. The House further notes that by virtue of Section 4(2) of the Constitution, the National Assembly is empowered to make laws for the peace, order, and good governance of the Federation or any part thereof with respect to the matters included in the exclusive legislative list set out in Part 1 of the second schedule of the Constitution. Aware that Section 217 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria establishes the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and stipulates that it shall include the Army, Navy, Air Force, and such other armed forces that may be established by the National Assembly. Section 2172 thereof stipulates that the federations are subject to an act of the National Assembly made in that behalf, equip and maintain the armed forces. Section 318 defines the Federation as the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Further aware that Section 218 confers upon the President the powers of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federation, and such powers shall include his powers to deploy troops. Cognizant that items 2, 17, 38, 45, 67, and 68 of the second schedule, Part 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, exclusive legislative list, prescribe that arms, ammunition, explosives, defense, military, equipment, and wares under the exclusive legislative list and matters within the exclusive preserve of the federal government and no state government, however buoyant or influential, has the power to procure arms, equipment, uniform, etc. for the military, nor has the power to delve into any matter within the exclusive legislative list. Concerned that only recently that the government of Kogi State imported 100 pieces of military camouflage, 26 pieces of military jungle boots, 20 pieces of plastic knives, 24 pieces of black bulletproof vest, 28 black boxing gloves, 28 pieces of active hunter bags, 40 pieces of training mats, 20 pieces of black batons, 100 pieces of black t-shirts, 31 pieces of protective glasses, 25 pieces of sunglasses, and 29 pieces of black uniform belts, and etc. Concerned that the special advisor to the Kogi State Governor on Security, Mr. Jerry Omandara, was reported to have gone to the custom office in Abuja upon interception of the illegally imported items and told her that the item belonged to Kogi State government. The officers of the Nigerian custom present, instead of arresting him or questioning him for importation of military equipment, they asked him to go and produce end-user certificate. Disturbed that there have been reported cases of assassination and threat to lives of politicians and public officers who have expressed divergent political views from that of the governor. This includes the attempt on the life of Senator Dino Malaye, the violent destruction of empowerment program of Senator Gembe, and the murder in cold blood of the late Labour leader in Okeni, who criticized the state governor vehemently for non-payment of workers' salaries. Worried that the state government is owing several months of salary and recently commenced payment of quarterly salary as opposed to monthly salary, known to Nigerian labor law. Yet, the government is spending the meager resources of the state on importation of military hardware, an exercise no private citizen or state government is constitutionally empowered to do. Further worried that instead of Nigerian Customs Service to promptly arrest the importer for this treasonable act of importing military hardware and item into the country, the Nigerian Customs Service has curiously requested the importer to provide end-user certificate from Nigeria Security Advisor, which cannot, under the law, authorize any individual or state government to import such item. Afraid that if this trend is allowed to continue, and politicians and state governors and private citizens are allowed to import arms under the guise of equipping the military, the security and life of innocent citizens will be jeopardized. Resolves that the House Committee on Customs and Committee on National Intelligence and Public Safety should investigate the alleged importation of military uniforms and equipment by Kogi State government. 2, that the Nigerian Customs Service should be invited to explain its role in not arresting the importer and instead of asking him to go and procure end-user certificate from the National Security Advisor. I hereby move. In summary, the life of ordinary citizens of Kogi State like me and very many others, our lives we are not supposed to be afraid of our lives, but because our security is in the hand of God. But we need to be very careful. I said something in the body of the motion. The labor leader, a labor leader in Kogi State, who was in the forefront. The labor movement criticized the governor for not paying salaries. And after 5 a.m. prayer, a Muslim prayer, the man was accosted to his house and was murdered in cold blood. with somebody, someone was with him, they took the life of both of them. Up to today, nothing has been said about it. They've not been able to produce those that killed the man. What has the man done wrongly? For daring to criticize the governor for not paying workers' salary. If you ask me, is my life not at stake talking to you in this way?
Very much at stake.
Mr. Speaker, my colleague, just like Esther in the Bible, when Mordecai went to Esther and said, if you remain in the confine of the palace and think your life is safe, God will send a deliverance to his people. But Esther stood up and said, if I perish, I perish. And he went to the king and secured the salvation of his people. The life of the citizens of Kogi State is at stake. If we sit at the comfort of this palace, if we sit at the comfort of the villa and leave the people of Kogi State alone, God will send a deliverer to his people.